This is Bob Hardy as a missionary in Aachen, Germany, for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. This is just a tape I sent home back in about 1975. My companion was Elder Brad Wright. Here we go.
Hello, testing. We are here at Hostel Holster Vig 27, Aachen. Brother Wright and I are waiting the wonderful, New Year's Eve fest. We're going to go out and light our firecrackers in about, in about 3 hours. And bring in the new year. But before that, I have a little piece of tape here. It's something we did earlier today. We went out tracking a little bit earlier today. We were told to come in at 4 o'clock, so we didn't track very much. So you can listen to this little piece of tape of us tracking. We got in on this door and we sold this lady Book of Mormon. And if Joel listens to this, he'll recognize it. We told this lady she didn't want to take anything. She wouldn't listen to us or anything. Just as we told her the price of the boat, she turned 180 degrees around and said we'll buy it. So we'll turn the time over now to our tracking. This is Brother Hardy reporting. Yes, indeed. Start talking. Jay might be going home to his folks. Maybe a little introduction. We are out tracking the street. Here we are. Island door. We're ringing the doorbells, trying to get in the door. Waiting for the buzzer to click to let us in. We are anxiously awaiting the ring. Come on, let's see how it is. We're wasting tape too. Firecrackers going off in the background. Tonight is a New Year's Eve. Here we go.
Die Presse Wright, die Kohlenzeit Party. Wir sind beide Amerikaner, kommen hier als Repräsentanten der Kirche Jesu Christi, der Heiligen der letzten Tage oder Mormonen. Heute suchen wir das Gespräch, um uns vorzustellen, ein bisschen von uns erzählen. Wir hätten gerne kurz mit Ihnen gesprochen. Ja,
ist das vielleicht möglich, ein anderes Mal vorbeizukommen? Haben Sie je von uns gehört?
Nein, das nicht.
Oh, man kann keine Entscheidung machen.
Sicher, das ist klar, man kann nicht immer vorher eine Entscheidung treffen, eben wie das passiert hat oder wenigstens diese andere Kontaktpflicht mit der Rechnung. Aber es ist nur eine Gelegenheit, wo wir uns zu erkennen.
Eine letzte Frage. Lesen Sie gerne?
Ja, wir lesen ja gerne.
Ja, ich frage das, weil wir sind hier tatsächlich wegen eines Buches. Und das heißt das Buch Mormon.
Ja?
Nur in kleiner Ausführung.
Oh nein, das ist nicht von uns. Das ist von noch einer Kirche, ich glaube.
Ja,
Zeugen Jehovas.
ja, das ist drin.
Ja.
Und es ist nicht die Geschichte unserer Kirche oder etwas wie da. Es ist sondern die Geschichte, die Ureinwohner Amerikas, die Vorfahren der Inkas und Azteken. Und ihre Vorfahren sind aus Jerusalem gewandert mit Schiffen. Ungefähr 600 vor Christus. Und die sind nach Amerika geführt. Und dann haben die Propheten und Leiter dieses Volks ihre Geschichte dann niedergeschrieben nach Gottes Tafel.
Ist das dann einmal oder sind das denn mehrere Auflagen?
Nein, das ist nur ein Buch, das ist das Einzige, was wir haben.
Ja, und wir glauben tatsächlich fest an die Bibel. Wir glauben auch an das Buch Mormon, auf das Wort Gottes. Und weil es ein zweiter Zeuge für Christus ist, ist zu diesen Menschen erschienen, gerade nach seiner Auferstehung in Jerusalem. Und da wir nicht mit ihnen sprechen dürfen, wir nur am wenigsten die in ein Kopie bei ihnen.
Ja, haben Sie denn keine Bestellkarten, dass man sich damit überlegen kann, gut, das bestellt zu
Nein, tatsächlich, wir sind die Einzigen, die dieses Buch haben. Wir geben es für 2 Mark.
Aber ich möchte aber trotzdem.
Ja, das ist der Druck.
Und schnell her. So, irgendwie mir anschauen.
Ja, ganz fest.
Vielleicht auch, ich habe ein Interesse, vielleicht können Sie, wenn Sie etwas melden wollen, wenn Sie weitere Kurse haben, ich habe...
An Büchern.
Nein, nicht. Das ist das Einzige, was wir haben. Wir möchten sprechen gerne mit den Menschen. Wenn Sie gerne mit uns sprechen wollen, wir...
Studieren Sie hier oder was?
Nein, wir sind vollzeitige Missionare mit
Ach
Kirche.
so.
Wir sind Studenten zu Hause, aber wir haben unsere Studienzeit unterbrochen. Ja, für diese 2 Jahre.
Und diese, ist das dann losgeführt oder wie?
Ja.
Entschuldigung, noch einmal bitte.
Ja. Warum haben Sie das gemacht?
Diese zu tun.
Tatsächlich? Nee, das gibt es nicht.
Doch. Ja, doch.
Ja, wie wollen Sie denn, wieso wollen Sie denn das wieder, können Sie denn das noch wieder nachholen? Oder?
Ja, das
Also,
ja,
in 2 Jahren, ja, das ist jeweils ein Nachteil.
Ja.
ein bisschen,
Wie,
aber...
und das haben Sie quittiert dafür.
Ja.
Nur diese Sachen.
Ja, dies ist so wichtig, aber... Das ist sehr wichtig.
Naja, ich glaube es Ihnen mal. Auch wenn ich kenne den.
Okay, schönen Tag noch. Schönen Tag.
Bitte, bitte, auf Wiedersehen.
Wiedersehen.
Okay.
In and out. In and out. Scheidungseffekt. Ich heiße Hardy, mein Freund heißt Wright und wir sind beide aus den USA. Und wir kommen von der Kirche Jesu Christi, der Heiligen der letzten Tage. Oder Mormon. Haben Sie von uns gehört? Ja, stimmt. Wer ist die 6 von uns, der das stimmt? Wir suchen tatsächlich die Gelegenheit, die Menschen zu unterhalten und uns ein bisschen besser vorzustellen. Und deswegen... Okay, dann schön. Auf Wiedersehen. Here's the sound of a chord. That's the chord. Wrote what? I don't know. A German.
That's good.
Anyway, that was a little piece of tape what we did earlier today. A little later, I'll in the tape we did about a half hour of taping, and a little later I'll leave the part in where we got in. A brother let us in, and he's a very good, sharp brother. And I was trying to turn off the tape recorder in there. I was struggling like crazy to get the tape recorder turned off, and it was in my Tasha, in my little, what do you call that, Ruder? Auf English. Little kind of briefcase thing we take along with us all the time. By the way, Joel gave me his, and I'm sorry to say, back in Espelkamp I lost it. Had all a bunch of shrifts in it. I think a Book of Mormon. And I guess I set it on my bike and it fell off or something. Anyway, I got another one. They only cost 5 marks a piece. Well, we'll talk about a little bit of things that we've done lately. What have we done, Bruder? We've done a heck of a lot together. This Brother Wright's a fine elder. One of the finest to come out of the States. I'm eating a cracker. We had a good Christmas. Really good Christmas. We got a lot of good packages. Thanks for those packages. They really made me happy. I really could I'm really using those garments well. Mine are starting to get a little old, the other ones. And these cotton ones are a little warmer because it's pretty cold right now. There's no snow on the ground, but it gets cold and windy. And boy, that's piercing wind. Anyway. And let's see, what else you gave me? All those foodstuffs, they're the finest. That jam, that plum jam is great. Are you making jam home? Really? Oh. It is weird talking to the microphone. Let's see. I was just going to say something. Oh, yeah. We are going to go to bikes starting tomorrow. Brother Wright just bought himself a bike. Was that today or yesterday? Yesterday. Yesterday bought himself a bike. And so we're going to bikes. And we're just fixing up all kinds of lists right now. He made a contact list for us. Today we quit tracting. The president told us to quit proselyting today at 4 o'clock because everybody goes crazy here in Aachen on New Year's Eve. And they shoot people and everything else. No, not really. So we're just trying to keep busy here in the Vonen. We're studying and stuff. I'm really learning a lot about the Bible and stuff. I want to read up on it, get familiar with the Bible. I'm already pretty familiar with the Book of Mormon. Not half as much as I want to be, but I want to get more familiar with the Bible. Was noch? I never can think of what I want to talk about here. Turn it off for a sec. Oh yeah. Now I remember you got a letter from Brother Johnson here. He thought he's pretty clever and wrote all the parents of he wrote all the parents of the district and got a bunch of info on us when we were little kids. And it was laughs. It was a laugh. It was lighter. I mean, too bad the letters came too late. It was funny though. It was. We were. The letters didn't come in time for that little get together we had on Christmas morning. We had appointments that day too. We had an appointment on Christmas Day. We had a dinner appointment with one of our contacts. Anyway, the other day in the lunchroom, we eat at the lunchroom here at the university. The two brethren came walking in, and Brother Wright and I were sitting there eating. And what did he say? Brother Johnson came up to me, he says, what kind of cats are there? I didn't know what he's talking about. And he goes, is there such thing as a Joel cat? And I kind of got a little suspicious there. I thought I'd maybe told Brother Farnsworth, that's his companion, about that little thing about me saying there's a tomcat and a bobcat, but not a Joel cat. And then he said something like, what else did he say? About the squirrel. He says, you felt bad when you shot the squirrel, didn't you? And that wasn't even me, that was Tom. We did that up at, when we went camping that one time, that was Tom who shot the squirrel. And he felt pretty bad about it. And I didn't hardly know anything about it. Of course, we never know if the squirrel died or not. Anywho, that was a big laugh. And just today, they came walking in there. What did they say about you?
I want to go water skiing.
Yeah, he says, Brother Farnsworth came in, do you want to go water skiing, Brother Wright? Because his mama just, his letter came today about him, and he had a little baby picture in there too. So we've all got our baby pictures and everything. It's really fun, but I wish they wouldn't spend so much time doing those stupid things. Get more in the missionary work. Yeah, get out and track. Yeah, Brother Wright and I, we're the pace setters here for the district. We've got to be, because we're the district leaders here. And we're trying to set an example for the other brother, because we're going to baptize this month. On the 17th, we're going to baptize. Yeah, Frau Bauer. She's one of our contacts. It was herrlich, the way we met her. We were tracking out a big, huge Hochhaus. That's a big skyscraper, kind of like a big apartment building with about 10 stories on it. And there wasn't too many people there. When was that? That was Christmas Eve, wasn't it? No, it was farther back than that. It was one night where nobody was really they didn't want to listen to us, but anyway, we contacted her, talked to her a little bit. She was scared, she didn't want to let us in or anything, but we finally sold her Book of Mormon off the door and told her what to read. And we were down a few floors lower, and she came walking down there and she said, wow, I've read what you've told me to read already, that's really great and everything. She came and talked to us about it. She was going to a friend down on this lower level, and so we got begeistered about it. And so we decided we're going to call on her every other day or so. So we started calling her and wishing her a Merry Christmas and telling her that the Tabernacle Choir was going to be on TV and stuff. And she really appreciated it too. We finally gave her the first discussion about 2 days ago, the restoration discussion about Joseph Smith and the restoration of the church. And she wanted to be baptized in. She says, okay, you've convinced me. She wants to be baptized, but she's got friends in the Catholic Church who are holding her back. They might hold her back. We'll take care of that with our love. Anyway, she says every time we've called her, she's been in a down mood, and we've cheered her up and everything. So Gar, today we went back and called on her, and we kind of cheered her up then. So we're sure we're going to baptize her. She's got a 10-year-old kid too, and we'll try to get a hold of him. Anyway, and the other two brethren, Brother Farnsworth and Brother Johnson, they have contacts, two of them that are very, very ready for baptism. It's just a matter of baptizing them. We went and sang Christmas carols for one of them the other night. It was on Christmas Day. She can't see though; she's blind almost, and she has to listen to tapes for the Book of Mormon. It's kind of rough. She's trying to be everybody for everything for everybody. She's about 76 years old, or 67, or whatever. And we're just going to try to love her right in the church. Those other two brethren are good at that. Brother Scholl, Brother Scholl and Brother Morley are the other companionship. Brother Scholl went to Ogden High. He lives in Ogden. We went to school together in Ogden High, but I never really knew him very much. He just had an accident. He was in the shower the other day, and he was reaching over to turn on some water, and he slipped, and he broke the basin, the ceramic basin. He broke a lot of stuff, and it fell on the ground, and he fell on top of it and put a 3-inch hole in his arm. So he's kind of worried about that. That's kind of hampering him. He's in a cast. His arm's in a cast. But they're working on their baptisms. They have a man who's ready for baptism this month too. but we're working on that. We're going to be the best district down here in the whole mission, yeah. By the way, reports say that, rumor has it that German Dusseldorf mission is the best mission on the earth, right?
I've heard that.
Brother Wright confirms that. By the way, I just got my driver's license form, and Brother Wright notarized it for me. Anyway, thanks for the driver's license. I think George White might have had his hand a little bit in there. I'm glad for that. It's about time. Yeah. I'll probably have to pay a little money for the driver's license, but that's okay. Well, what else have we got to say there, Elder? Yeah, I was just gonna say, Brother Wright, he reminds me of Dick Van Dyke. I just told him that last night. I just finally figured out who he reminded me of after 2 months. Now, yeah, let me check and see if this is on here that I wanted to listen to. Moment mal. Alles klar, it's not there yet. Ganz klar. Okay. Hey, Tom, how's everything going with George's? Just got the info that you're working at George's Market. Is Rick Knowlton still working there? Big Rick. Has he decided to join the church yet? You had to kind of influence him on that. He's a good brother. How are you coming along on your, see, what are you doing there? Oh, how's school going at Weaver? Good. Really? No kidding. You got that class too? Oh, good. What classes are you taking? Yeah? I took that last year too. How's the tennis team look? Randy Lane's up there. You can beat him, can't you? And Ralph Reese too. Okay. Now, yeah. I haven't played tennis for a long time. I just found out it's outruled. Brother DeFries and I played three P-days in a row. Yeah? For 3 hours what? When we play? Yeah. 3 P-days in a row. Anyway, what we did was we did a little club hopping. We Brother DeFries is that way. We went to one tennis club. Well, we both were when we got together. Anyway, we went to one club. Went to one tennis club, and it was a private club there in Lübeck. And we went up there, and there happened to be a kid there that we had taught in a what's a Vortrag? A presentation to one of the classes there at a school, and he was in there, and he recognized us. And so he let us play there. We said, oh, we want to try it out a little bit. Maybe we'll get a membership after a while. And so we got to play for free for about 6 hours. And so we did that. The next week we went to another private club. The club, there's a tennis club in Espelkamp itself with clay courts. I'll have you know. We played on the clay courts too. We got in there and we just asked a lady, a teacher. She was pretty hip on Americans. She'd like to talk to us in English, so she let us play on there for free for 6 hours for nothing. And we with the intent of saying, yeah, we're just going to try it out for a little bit now. We'll see about later. So we didn't go back there. The next week we went out into a little village, where one of our contacts was a member to this club. Went out there and played for 6 hours too. It was good. It's amazing. I haven't lost really much. I was pretty sore afterwards though. Pretty sore. But I think this tape is on there. Just a sec. I was wrong. Okay. Anyway, we haven't done much exercise lately. We got to get out and run, Bruder. I got me a pair of tennis shoes and everything. We're working so much. We don't even think about anything. Really, we don't have time to do anything. We've been trying to get out and work as hard as we can, and there's just hardly any time to do anything. When we get home, we want to study and have a little something to eat or something. I just really like to study the gospel. It's the greatest. How's your study of the gospel going? Good. That's what I thought. How much time we got here? God, it's almost time to light fireworks. We got these big old bombs here. They are bombs. We went to a store today just to get some paper, and we saw these bombs. They are richtig bombs.
It's like Noble.
Yeah. He says Noble is a bomb factory up in Sweden, so they make bombs up there.
They invented dynamite.
They invented dynamite, and these things look like dynamite. They're really cheap, too. Cheaper than what we used to always get up in Jackson or Evanston. Yeah, so we're going to light them off. Maybe you'll get to hear one. You like that, won't you? Huh?
Oh, yeah.
So does the crowd. Just a sec. Let me see if... I think it's on here now. Well, that was it. I was trying to... We got in on this brother, and we taught him pretty good. He's a very learned man about theology and stuff, and we gave him a Book of Mormon. He looks like he's going to prove the message. And, of course, the natural thing is baptism. Right, Bruder? Right. Okay. Anyway, this side is almost about to an end. What were we talking about before? Oh, yeah. Oh, man, we've had some fun times here. Especially with our landlord. Oh no, he's great. He's an Ausländer. That means he comes from. He's a foreigner. He's from Yugoslavia, isn't it? Yugoslavian, I guess. He's a doctor. So is his wife. Big rich doctors. Anyway, these floors are like paper. They are bad. We get up at 6, and we're walking around up here, and he comes up and raps on the door with his fingers, kind of clicks on the door and says, yeah, he's been doing that, but lately he didn't do that. He comes up and he goes, "Ich kann nicht schlafen. Es unmöglich, ganz unmöglich," in his little old native tongue. And he shows us how we do it. He starts walking around on the floor like we were supposed to be doing. That's no right. I think he hears things. He sleeps very lightly, so that's what's wrong with him. Well, the other morning, he came up. Suddenly, I was in this room, and Brother Wright was in the bathroom, and I heard the door slam 3 times, as loud as it could. It was about 7 o'clock. And I whipped out, and I thought Brother Wright had gone haywire. I thought he was crazy or something. I looked out, and he went running down the stairs, Herr Pavlovich. He must have just had a fit, because he heard us. He came out in a rage and started slamming the doors. Anyway, everything's okay now. Every time he sees us after he has one of these fits, he's really nice to us and everything. I think this is to end, though. So, chew for this side. Okay, we're going down now. We're going to go outside and light our fire. umbrella. Got your umbrella? Huh? Got your umbrella? Why don't we go out to that field over there? There's a kind of a what's it called? Just a little Scooby out there. We'll get back on this tape when we get out there. That's a bad wind. Get it over with. Quick. Yeah, I want to hear one of those flickers you got. Silver salute. Okay. Why not? Yeah, this is bad wind. Well, I'd like to go cross over there. Where? This is very gal. I want to go up in there. Where? My umbrella here. Okay. Here. Okay. Get under here so I can light it, Bruder. I gotta hold on to this thing. Will you light this? Get the fuse out of this. Just a sec. Let me set everything down here. Let me set things down here a sec. Okay. Umbrella. Yeah, I can't do nothing here. Yeah. This is this firecracker. The bomb is about ready to go off. Okay. Yes, we are walking along Hospital Service. We shut off our fireworks for the evening. Yes, just celebrated the first. God, it's just like the good old days. Yeah. They didn't sound much like bombs. The big ones that Brother Wright had did. They were very good. My hands are freezing off though. Look at my umbrella here. Yeah. I was on food. Oh, it's cold here. It's raining and windy right now. Now we're gonna go to our little abode. You're all wet, dude. Huh? Yeah. It should be. I haven't had to use my umbrella. I've been lighting fireworks. Well, let's go up and I want to record a little bit when all the fireworks start going off. It'll be so noisy. I really celebrate here. I gotta draw myself off. Pull off. intruder. I slam the door. Oh, no. The Pavlovich will be up in the snap. Well, that was a little bit of fun we had together. I'm going to turn this off until 12 o'clock or so. I'm going to wake up and turn it on, and I'll do the rest of the recording tomorrow. So, tschüss, bis tomorrow. Yeah, or the next year. I'll see you next year. Here it is. What's today, brother? Today's the 12th. 12 days later than when we recorded that. I got a little foul, a little lazy. The mailman just came, but nobody sent me a letter. So. Anyway, we just had a little inventory session. We're just looking through some slides that I took. It's P-Day right now, by the way. Otherwise, we would be out working. Let's see, what has happened in the last few days? Well, we had a real good, whatchamacallit, Christmas season. I guess that's what you call it. Brother Meade. Oh, yeah. You know Brother Meade. My ex-companion in Nespelcom. He just was made a zone leader in a new zone. So we used to have 5 zones with their respective zone leaders. 2 zone leaders to each zone. And then in each zone there's about, what would you say, 8 district leaders? 8 or so. And then a bunch of missionaries underneath. And he was made zone leader of a new zone, so I'm pretty proud. Anyway, what has happened in the past? We found a fantastic lady, a Frau Groben. Frau Groben, Grobben. You might wonder why I spelled the name out. Well, maybe it'd be a good idea if you could write her a letter, because she's a new contact. Yeah, okay. We just picked her up as a contact a little while ago. She came to church yesterday, and she says she wants to be a member. She kind of pointed that out. She wants to be a member. And I think it'd be a nice idea if you could write her a letter, in English, and then we could translate it. And let's see, her address is, you put Frau Groben, then you would put Frankenbergstrasse, 7. That'd be Frankenburg and a 7. And then you'd skip a space and then put Aachen, 51 Aachen. 51 AACHEN. They've changed the postal system here. That's how you're supposed to write my letters now. Instead of putting 51 Aachen right under my name, you put that second, and you don't have to underline it. They've changed everything here in Germany. So that's how it's going to go. And I think it'd be neat if you could write her a letter. Just tell her how things are, what you feel about the church, your testimony, what you feel about what I'm doing here and stuff like that. And she'd get begeistered about that. That's how members come to the church, just by other people fellowshipping them. And parents or letters from home. Oh yeah. I went and I thank you very much for that license. Sending my driver's license. Right now, today I'm going to go get an eye test. And while Brother Wright is paying money for his x-rays, since he's been here, he's paid about 200 marks in x-rays. Because right when he got here, he had a cold and they thought he had a spot on his lung and stuff, and so they're just milking him from all the money he's got. Anyway, I gotta go get an eye test and then get my driver's license. That's good. I gotta go also to an ear doctor or something, because I feel I got something wrong with my ears. They hurt a lot when I put pressure on them. I think there's maybe just a bunch of wax or something in there. Gotta get them cleaned out. What? Did you say something? Let's see, what else we got going here? How much tape we got? Just a little bit. It's an interesting little instrument called a Mundtrommel, or else a yeah, juice harp. That's called a juice harp. Brother Farnsworth got one, and I got one a little while ago, because it helps to develop your vocal cords with the German language a little bit. Somehow it does. I don't know. But you can also, yeah, yeah, yeah. Not the protecting cover, but yeah. Yeah, I've got my shaver. I've got a Schick Flexomatic shaver, and the head, you know, the thin head on top. When you shave, your whiskers get caught in it and stuff, and it shaves it off. Anyway, that thing's all kind of bent up, and my shaver's not working good. And I've gone to almost every geschäft, every store here, to find one, and they say they don't make them here for them. You can only get them in America. So I'd appreciate it if you could somehow give me one of those. It's for Schick Flexomatic, and because I can't stand those. I can't stand to wet shave, even though the hair on my chin and the hair on my cheek, they don't grow that fast. So. Okay. Time for Aufgabe. Okay, I'm going to read a few little scriptures that some of the brethren looked up a while ago for me. They were wasting time looking in the Bible. Anyway, there's one. Let's see, where is it? Let me turn to it. Okay, Psalms 84:2. Okay, this has to do with me somehow, if you can get it. These brethren know that I like to play tennis. It says here in Psalms 84:2, my soul longeth, yea, even fainteth for the courts of the Lord. My heart and my flesh crieth out for the living God. And it tells you also, in Joshua 24:15, it tells us that we have to know who we're playing tennis with. Just a minute, let me find it. What did I just say? Joshua 24:15. It says, Folgendes, choose ye this day whom ye will serve. Oh, and there's another thing. 1 Kings 7:46. Did you know that he had clay courts? Where is that? 7:46. Here we go. In the plain of Jordan did the king cast them, in the clay ground between Succoth and Zertan. So he had clay courts. Yeah. Let me see. In Psalms 65:4 tells us also a little bit about the sport. Blessed is the man whom thou choosest, and causest to approach unto thee, that he may dwell in thy courts. 104, this is supposed to be a good one. Psalms 104. Enter into his gates with thanksgiving, and into his courts with praise. Anything else? Isaiah 1:2. Isaiah 1:2. When ye come to appear before me, who hath required this at your hand, to tread my courts? So we see that they played tennis in the Bible, and Solomon had tennis courts too. Oh, yeah. Which is that? Also, I found out why they don't like to have dogs in the church. It's just not allowed. It says in Ephesians 5:27 that he might present it to himself a glorious church, not having spot. No dogs in the church allowed. Okay, enough of that. Hey Mom, did you see if it's possible if you could get me some kind of a little book on different religions? Because I'd kind of like to know a little more about some of the other religions and how they stand to certain views and stuff, so when we come up with people like that, we can kind of know what kind of religion they are. Because they always ask us if we busy ourselves with other religions. You know, Apostle Paul said to prove everything and keep the best. So I'd like to know a little bit about the other religions too. The thing is, we can't let some of these other things get to us. Some brethren read the Quran and they apostatize from the mission field. Maybe you heard about that mission. Where was that? Down in Italy, 50 years ago. The mission president and his assistants, office staff, all apostatized and formed a new religion. Won't ever happen here though. There's something I wanted to read in the Book of Mormon to you. There's something I wanted to read out of the Book of Mormon here. Really cool. It's about faith. It's in Alma 32. Thank you. It's really cool. It talks about how Alma and Amulek? Yeah. Alma and Amulek, or Alma, he was speaking to a people there in chapter 32. These people were kind of mocking him. A whole bunch of people were standing there mocking him, but he was trying his hardest. And suddenly, in back of them, some people screamed out and said, Alma, what are we going to do? Everybody despises us because of our poverty. They cast us out of the synagogues that we've built with our own hands. And they won't let us go into the synagogues to worship. What are we going to do? When Alma heard, maybe I can just read it out of here. It says, and now when Alma heard this, he turned him about, his face immediately towards him, and he beheld with great joy, for he beheld that their afflictions had truly humbled him, and that they were in a preparation to hear the word. So he left all those people, all the people that were mocking him, and he went to the people who were really humble and ready to hear the gospel, because they were prepared to hear the word. And then he talks a little farther on about how blessed are the people who are humbled, but blessed are the people more who are humbled without being compelled to be humbled. See, these people are being compelled to be humbled because they had to get kicked out of their synagogues before they were humbled. And there's just a cool little thing about faith, about the seed. It says they compare the word unto a seed. That's the gospel. We'll say our gospel, the commandments of the gospel and everything like that. It says in verse 28, now we will compare the word unto a seed. Now if you give place that a seed may be planted in your heart, behold, if it be a true seed or a good seed, if you do not cast it out by your unbelief, that it will resist the Spirit of the Lord. Behold, it will begin to swell within your breast. And when you feel these swelling motions, you will begin to say within yourselves, it must needs be good. It must needs be that this is a good seed, or that the word is good, for it beginneth to enlarge my soul. Yea, it beginneth to enlighten my understanding. Yea, it beginneth to be delicious to me. Now behold, would not this increase your faith? I say unto you, yea. Nevertheless, it has not grown up to a perfect knowledge. But behold, as the seed swelleth and sprouteth and beginneth to grow, then you must needs say that the seed is good. For behold, it swelleth and sprouteth and beginneth to grow. And now, behold, are ye sure that this is a good seed? I say unto you, yea, for every seed bringeth forth into its own likeness. And that's a truth right there. If it's good, if you feel the swelling motions, if you feel that the thing's good, you just should keep it with you. But then later it says, if the seed groweth, it is good, but if it groweth not, behold, it is not good, therefore cast it away. Now he tells us to try this experiment. It says, Now, behold, because ye have tried the experiment, and planted the seed, and it swelleth and sprouteth, and beginneth to grow, you must needs know that the seed is good. And now, behold, is your knowledge perfect? Yea, your knowledge is perfect in that thing, and your faith is dormant. And this because ye know, for ye know that the word has swelled your souls, and ye also know that it is sprouteth up, that your understanding doth begin to be enlightened, and your mind doth begin to expand. So like the gospel, I've seen it in myself and other people, that because I've busied myself with the Book of Mormon, just like, for example, knowledge has increased. My mind has begun to expand. I just understand a lot of more things. And it says, Oh, then, is not this real? I say unto you, yea, because it is light, and whatever is light is good, because it is discernible. Therefore you must know that it is good. And now behold, after you have tasted this light, is your knowledge perfect? Behold, I say unto you, nay, neither must ye lay aside your faith, for ye have only exercised your faith to plant the seed, that you might try the experiment to know if the seed is good. And behold, as the tree beginneth to grow, you will say, Let us nourish it with great care, that it may get root, that it may grow up and bring forth fruit unto us. And behold, if ye nourish it with much care, it will get root, and grow up, and bring forth fruit. But, this is a big part, if ye neglect the tree, and take no thought for its nourishment, behold, it will not get any root. And when the heat of the sun cometh and scorcheth it, because it had no root, it withers away, and ye pluck it up and cast it out. And 40 says, And thus if ye will not nourish the word, looking forward with an eye of faith to the fruit thereof, ye can never pluck of the fruit of the tree of life. That's a tema we give to a lot of people. I've kind of changed it, but that's the thing. Once we have the gospel, it's just like us as missionaries. Whenever we study the gospel every morning, Brother Wright and I study the Book of Mormon. We study out in temas, by subjects, and we kind of work around subjects. And you can just see, if you don't busy yourself with the gospel, if you miss a day or miss it a little while, you can feel it missing from you. You can feel it kind of it's drained out of you. That's why we have to nourish the gospel in us every single day. You can't go day by that you just don't nourish it. And that's what we have we have problems once in a while with our contacts, because they don't do that. They've got to realize that they have to have that contact with the church one time every day. We've been starting to do that. We've been starting to call all our contacts every other day, or drop by and talk with them. This one brother, though, we dropped by on this one lady to contact her, or to talk with her again. She's a very golden contact, ready to be baptized. But her husband was there, and he said, if you come back again, I'll throw you out on your... So, we don't know what to do right now. We're working on that one. But anyway, I just wanted to mention that, to dig into the gospel, start reading the Book of Mormon. That's a good chapter to start with if you haven't been reading for a while. Read Alma 32, very good one on faith. Ether 12 is good on that too. There's a lot of cool things. I'm just really getting deep into it. Anyway, there's some really cool things in the book. Enos, you gotta read Enos. Talks about prayer. I'm just learning the importance of prayer right now. Prayer is so much. We just talked about a lot of things right now. We had a good inventory session. We got in too late last night. We have an inventory and planning session every Sunday night. Take about an hour and a half or so. And we talk about our contacts, how we can help them, how we can bring them to the gospel, just bring them to be ready to be baptized. And also we make our own goals. Goal planning is so important. We set our goals, like for instance this week I set a goal of, I haven't been doing my push-ups and sit-ups, for instance, in our exercise, and so I'm doing only 30 push-ups, 30 sit-ups every day. And so I got to start over. And what else? What am I going? Oh, 2 words a day. Yeah, I got a personal goal, and 2 words a day. We learn 2 words a day, and boy, it really helps your vocabulary. You just expand. And we've been talking a lot about positive thinking. Just the greatest. I remember that book by what's his name? The Power of Positive Thinking by Norman Vincent Peale. Yeah, I'm glad I read that book. That's working a wonder. And that is the finest. Just to think everything positive. Never try to motivate anybody with negative thoughts, because that's just what the Catholic Church does, and they're the I won't say it, they're not the Church of God, let's put it that way, the Church of the Devil. They just carry people captive down, like it says in the Book of Mormon, and with that negative motivation, they tell everybody that the Lord is a mean God and everything else. He'll punish you for this and that, instead of telling the blessings that the Lord gives us. And it's just the greatest. It's just a difference between night and day. The gospel is the gospel of happiness. We just kind of figured that out today. Oh, almost out of tape. Ow. Yeah, moment more. May as well finish up this tape with a little challenge too. Work as hard as you can. This goes for everybody back home who's listening to the tape. Just searching the scriptures and study them. It's just a part of life, really, because you'll get to find the true meaning of everything in there. It's the greatest. I'd love to see our whole family, every one of us. I just love to see it. When I get home, that we all go through the temple. I think it'd be so neat. I'm sure Tom would be in the position to go in the temple, because he's going to be called an elder before his mission. I hope he doesn't go before I come back, though. I'd love to see that, and I'm sure everybody can do it. I know it's possible. I've seen it here in Germany. Many people are in bad positions, very bad. We've helped them get into the position to go to the temple, and they've done it. And I just know this church is true. That's all there is to it. Hope all goes well back home, and everything's going great here. Money-wise, everything's okay. And I'll end the talk today. I'm going to go buy me a dictionary, an English dictionary, so I can know what some of the words in English are. I gotta learn English a little bit more in German. Anyway, alles Gute, and have a good day. Tschüss.
Hell,